But I knew about you already before I even got here. I knew you would probably be here first because she is not the only guest. She, definitely was invited. He let me know like she was coming. I was like, yo, it's always a family affair with PSA. So, the more the merrier. Are we gonna get some sound healing today? Can we do that? Is the audio and stuff good enough to do that where people will be able to hear it? I'm not sure, but if it is, I definitely would like for folks to experience it. It sounds good to me, but I'm not an expert at sound healing. You know what I'm saying? Some people say that they. So this is PSA Philly Service Announcement. Takeover Tuesday, Takeover Love, Support, Grace, Social Activism, Resources, and Art. I am the assist, African support and strength, inspiration, and success together. Shout out to the queen, Nick. I'm gonna have to go get her. You know what I mean? She probably treating me. She like, you're not treating me like you're my brother. You haven't talked to me. I have other things that I can say, but I'm not gonna put it on the air that she might say to me. But there go my sis and her husband, my brother. You know what I'm saying? Black love, the exact mile. Carlita in the building. Y'all seen her moving around, helping to set up, and then left the lady just out there. As soon as the camera on, she just left her on the table. Like, no more helping her set up on the table. Just is like, oh, we on. Let me sit down. You on your own, lady. Yeah. So, it's all it's all gravy. It's all gravy. But Carlita in the house, I appreciate too always. Glockaware family. I was down at Dune Day with my daughter. I seen some Glockaware family down there. It's a funny thing that happened down there. My daughter was like, every 2 feet that you like, she was like, everywhere we going, people were like, hey, what's going on? What's going on? So she was like, we can't even get 2 feet. And soon as I walked 2 feet, I ran in the bigger Dre. And she was like, see, this is what I'm talking about. But my brother got some things going on. Everybody I ran into down there, I feel like the ancestors guided me to running into these different people. It was a good thing because he's coming on the show. He has invited a new family member to the show because everybody that come on the show come back. You know what I'm saying? And I love saying, what is it? How does it go? Friend of the show. I like to say friend of the show. You know what I'm saying? It's something I grew up on hearing people on radio shows, and you're like, this guy is a friend of the show. This is his 5th time being on the show and all that good stuff. So it was dope to run into him. He always got some amazing things going on for African folks. I love when I could just talk to people and it's just African folks. I have no problem with other folks. You know what I'm saying? Actually, I believe that. I don't believe it. I know it to be fact because, as my brother Stan says, we are and were the first environmentalists. We were the first stalwarts of the earth. We were taking care of this earth for millennials. Before all this fuckery started happening, to be honest, how y'all just eating the earth up like it ain't a body. Sometimes I wish y'all can get treated how y'all treating the earth so y'all can tell because, the earth and us is one and the same. We walk in soil, as my brother would say. You know what I mean? So I love running into that brother. I love the work that he does because it's about African folk. And sometimes, most times, it should be about African folks. And I like to tell my same story, you know what I'm saying, that my mom, seen me sweeping somebody's rug through her window across the street, cleaning up somebody else's house. And when I came up, when she called me, because she called through the window, I heard her. I went over there. And the biggest part about this was not that she called me to tell me what she was about to tell me. It was the fact that she didn't make what she seen me doing into a bad thing. She was like, I don't have a problem with you being over there sweeping your friend's rug, your brother's. You be over there, that's dope. All of that. She ain't say that was dope, but, I added that to it. But when the last time you looked at your room? So I don't have no problem with you being across the street helping somebody sweep their rug, if that's what you want to do. But just make sure your room, your house, you are taken care of first. And then you can help everybody. I don't have a problem. And the reason why I tell that story, because she didn't discourage me. She didn't make it wrong for me to be helping them. She just said, how are you helping them? And you haven't cleaned your own room. You haven't cleaned your own house. So how are you across the street sweeping somebody's rug? That just doesn't make sense logically. And I look at that when it's more and more that I learned about our people and myself, it makes more sense. Like, how can I keep saying black, brown, poor, white, LBGT when there has been no consistent effort on black or African, like even from Africans and black folk. So I don't have anything against assisting anybody else. And we can tell a whole bunch of other things about the story, but just basically make sure you good first. I feel like the love that I have for people and in particular black people comes from an extreme love that I have for myself. Like I'm willing to do all I'm willing to do for people because I really, really, really love Jarue. I do. Very much so. But that gives me the ability, the strength, the want to, the passion to be out here loving on my people and making sure I do that with them first. So we always say, oh, take care of yourself first. You can't take care of nobody. But then when we talk about race as our people, I don't hear us saying that enough. You know what I'm saying? So whenever I'm around that brother, whenever that brother is doing something, I greatly appreciate the fact that it's African. And then we go everywhere else after that. And there's nothing wrong with that, African folk. There's nothing wrong when you decide to do that. So that was my little diatribe about that brother, running into him down there and running into a lot of people. Like, shout out to Rakia. Yo, we about to do something real amazing. We already doing something real amazing. We got the first day of restorative justice training out the way. It went well, very well. And people received it in a way that I needed them received. Like when you are training, especially in restorative justice and circles and all of that, you don't really want it to be, I'm reading off of a script and y'all get it. You want to start with that, the intro to that, but then you want conversation to ensue in the circle and that be your learning what the circle is, what RJ is, what transformative justice is, and how do these things play out? What are these tools that we're using? How all the different ways we can use these tools. So it went very well. I have an opportunity to teach some young folks in New York. I was real hype about being on a Zoom with them Sunday. It was super dope because it was just funny. Like these young folks got just as much shit going on as me. They was like, well, we can't make it on June 5th because I have something on the 6th, the 7th, and the 8th. And then on the 9th and the 10th, I won't be available until about 3 o'clock. So if we can do a Zoom, because I won't be available. I'm listening to teenagers like talking to their professor, and I'm like, this is what it is. Like, this is what I want to put into all African children. That you could do everything. You can have a full schedule. You can be doing a lot of positive things for yourself. Because I believe in high school, most of the stuff that you should be doing is for you, to build for your future. And everybody around you should be coalescing around you to lift you up. You know, and I don't see enough of that with us, with our young folks. It's a very quick, we relinquish very quick now. You know, we allow our children to go very quick. It's too instant. And it's too many people that's agreeing on it. Like, yeah, they just out there. Those kids are horrible. They're terrible kids. Just leave them out there, whatever they're doing. It's there for. I had somebody say to me at a park, me and Rakia, that I think he was like 10, 11. He was out there shooting one of them little stupid new guns they made with the little gushy little things that they shooting at people. Everybody having awards and all that good stuff. You know, it's a funny thing going on right now considering how the tension is our city around guns and all. And I'm not somebody that thinks that you should take away toy guns and all of that stuff. I think that you should teach our children how to think critically, teach them what these things really are, so they'll make the proper decisions when they get those things in their hands, whatever it is, money, guns, whatever we're talking about. If we educate our children a little more, a lot more, because the literacy rate in Philadelphia is fucked up, just like that. That's another reason why we having so much turmoil and conflict that's going on in the city, because people can't comprehend. I don't know too many people that don't know how to add that can problem solve in real life. I don't know too many people who has a low level of comprehension when it comes to literacy who know how to problem solve. I just don't know people like that. So those basic things that seem like they don't correlate do very much so. Because then when I put that comprehension of words together and I put those numbers and I marry those two, that's when we talking about problem solving. When you look in, when math is showing you how to problem solve in real time, when they say, okay, if it takes 12 hours one way to a destination, which is work, how many hours, if it takes 12 minutes, to ride to work one way, and you do this 5 times a week and you go home, that's a question I just got off of one of my tests in school, and you go to lunch at home 3 times a week, how many minutes are you driving a week? If you can't read, you're not going to definitely figure that out. If you can't add, you're definitely not going to figure that out. So you might be somebody driving back and forth, wondering where your money going. It's gas. But you haven't problem solved that because you haven't added that time frame. And I know a lot of people who are riding to work every day that don't consider the time that they're riding to work, how much gas they're using, and they're wondering where that hole in their money is. Or you're going to the machine every day at work, not adding that money up, and then realize like, damn, where is this money going? You go to the machine every day. You go to Dunkin' Donuts every day. You need to add that into your expenses. A lot of people don't, because we're not critically thinking. They don't really think on that level. So I do think our young folks, we need to double down on educating our young folks, more importantly, about identity and critical thought. So I'm very blessed to be able to, talk with these young folks, teach these young folks. It's going to be on like community organizing, advocacy, MIAT, transformative justice, restorative justice, canvassing, research, the importance of data. So that is a whole, I'm just hype about it. I ain't gonna lie. I'm hyped to be able to, and being as though it's not in Philly, and I'm doing something in Philly that's very similar with some young folks, and we get to marry the two. So that's gonna be real dope. We're gonna be able to, connect those young folks tomorrow via Zoom. And at some point, we're gonna make sure that either Philly goes to New York comes to Philly, or we do both. But we'll figure it out. It's gonna be a long, beautiful summer, even though there's some things going on right now that goes against me saying it's gonna be a great summer. Everybody's gonna be outside. It's gonna be love. But I'm still standing on that. The things that's going on right now, I'm gonna try to be in the middle of them. I hope a lot of other people will try to be in the middle of them and ahead of them, if we can be. And we gonna bring it down so the rest of the summer can be good, because it's I don't even want to speak it into existence, but it's a little troubling right now. You know what I mean? So without further ado, I did all my ranting and raving, and I hope I shouted everybody out and got the programs out. I'm sure I didn't, but y'all know I love y'all. I'll remember at some point, or we'll see each other and it'll just be like, yo, I love you. Come on. It's like, no, but can you please tell everybody who you are?
Yes, greetings and blessings. I am Goddess Janae of Artistic Healing Expressions. Artistic Healing Expressions is my artistic platform for the many types of art that I am into.
So I usually ask that question. I ask 3 questions. I maintain those questions. The first question, the reason why I ask, who are you? Because I'm very big on identity. Yes. And normally when I ask my people who they are, it's always like a moment, or almost like, why are you asking me that? You know what I'm saying? But if I asked you about Usher, Diddy, any person that be on Instagram a lot, Sexy Red, you could run down her whole life.
Oh, no.
Not you, but I'm saying generally when I'm asking black folk, like they don't, it's like, I gotta guide the question. Like, who's your mom and dad? Where are y'all from? Like, give me a little something. Now, I do want brick and mortar. I want all your social media so people can tap in with you, but I do want to know a little bit about yourself.
Okay.
So you don't got to give me all the tea, all that goofy nonsense, but give me some real things about you. You know what I'm saying? If possible, that's tied to your identity.
I'm a mother.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'm a wife. I'm an advocate, for our community, for women and children. I started, doing the things that I was doing because I'm also an advocate. I'm a veteran, for one. And so just dealing with a lot of my own trauma and things and stuff that I've gone through, that's what really led me down to the field of healing, and wanting to help other people, out of their traumas and things like that.
Nah, that's dope. So give me like your brick and mortar, your social media, your websites.
Word up. Artistic Healing Expressions on Instagram, on Facebook. Also have a platform on Psychology Today. I have a website, Artistic Healing Expressions. I'm an artist, full blown. I make jewelry, so and I work with healing crystals and things like that. Also do counseling and movement therapy. Like I said, we're always doing the sound bathing, and which is, that's like the main thing that we've been, really pushing, into our community, because a lot of people don't really know about it,
right,
and never really experienced it. And so we're just, trying to share those vibes as often as we can.
Right. Like frequencies are very, very important. I don't think a lot of people understand everything moves on a certain wavelength, because nothing is actually still. So everything that you're watching right now, looking at right now, you think it's a still frame, but it's not. Everything is in constant motion. and it resonates at a certain frequency. That's why it appears and sounds the way that it is. So with us being at base level all the same atoms, you can make things resonate at different frequencies with sound. You can heal folks, like literal physical things you can heal with sound.
Exactly. Science.
Yes. So it's a funny thing that's like wellness is a very big thing with spirituality and all that. And it's almost faddish a little bit. You know what I mean? Instagram has a way of doing that. Capitalism, commercializing things have a way of doing that. And in the process, devaluing it. You know what I mean? Giving people snippets of the information and all that. And one of the things that I whenever somebody is in these lanes, I always want to know, how much do you know about yourself? Again, identity. It's like somebody can tell me that they spiritual, that they do crystals or astrology, numerology, but then I ask them about their Africanity and they don't really know much. And that I can't see how you can even think that you're tapped into anything if the base thing of who you are is not something you understand. And the things that you're trying to teach people, it comes from that African spirituality, theology, Maya, so forth and so on.
Indeed.
So I've been asking this question a lot to people who have things that's connected to wellness and spirituality. What is the African part of it for you? Like, is it somebody you read about? Is it another African that does sound that, you know, that expresses it through their Africanity? Like, this comes from our ancestors. This is how, you know what I mean? Is that something that you tap into?
In certain levels, it definitely is. You know, when I think about the connection that I'm making, it's about connecting with nature, you know, and I mean, I'm like, what's more African than that?
Yes.
You know what I mean? You know, and so just connecting with those, you know, the vibrations of nature and healing that and bringing us in tune with that. You know, it's so many distractions and it's so much noise and frequencies that are really off, and it's constantly throwing us off of our natural, you know, just our natural synergy, our natural energy. And so the bowls, the drum, you know, our voice, the humming, all of these different things, you know what I mean, that help to bring us back in tune. Right. You know, so that's really what we're doing, is just attuning back with nature.
It's funny when you say, not necessarily funny, but, you know, I've been having a lot of conversations about like trees and stuff like that with folks lately. Yes, definitely do that, because you do not exist without trees. Like, if they cut all the trees off, we die. Right. Period, point blank. There's no, you're not going to figure nothing else out. You might find, you know, they'd have made like some rooms or something where it's like fake oxygen and car, but it's not going to work right. A lot of people are going to just go, they're going to go away.
Yeah, trees, the sun, the water.
Yes.
You know, like,
and that's the nature part. When you said, yes. I clearly understand when you say, what's more African than that? You know what I'm saying? Because again, that's why I said we're walking soil. Yeah. This planet is us and we are the planet. You know, you can't separate, you know, creation from the creator. You know what I mean? So I definitely appreciate that. And then like I said, I've been having a lot of those conversations, and my brother been saying a lot about being an environmentalist, and it's things that I understand clearly, but hearing people say it more and more is something that we need, like that we are the first stalwarts of the planet. And that's what this is. If you saying, okay, I'm trying to get you back in tune with nature, that's you being a stalwart again. That's us remembering. You know what I'm saying? And what is the thing of remembering? I hear a lot of people. One young lady was saying to me, like, you know, what I do is just try to get you to remember what you forgot. That's my whole job. There's nothing special about me. I know we talk in these mystical ways about healers and all of that, and I'm not saying that doesn't exist, because it does. Right. But the way in which she was explaining it to me was like, we gonna take all the spooky stuff away. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So what is the importance of remembering?
You know, it's really reconnecting you to that divine intelligence that is deep inside of you. Like I said, that we have, you know, forgotten. It's like this multi-generational traumas that have just pushed us so far away from that divine intelligence, you know, away from nature, away from what is natural, you know, and into a lot of synthetic things. You know what I mean? It's like we've just really far away from our authenticity. Right. You know, and these things help connect us back to that, you know what I mean, help align us and attune us to the natural vibrations, you know, those natural frequencies, back to our energy centers, you know.
So I would ask, you know, my next question is always, you know, after I ask you, who are you? It's, you know, this is a resource show. This is also a reentry show, owned, operated by returning citizens. Me, I'm here, and my brother, and his wife, who has been holding down. She's basically a returning citizen, not in that way, but the way that she supported him. You know, she's felt everything that he's gone through in and out of prison. You know what I'm saying? So she's walked that walk with him, so she can tell the story just as much as somebody who actually been to prison. You know what I'm saying? So that's another reason why I say owned, operated by returning citizens. But what is your resource, one, and two, do you get any pushback? Like, what is the pushback that you get? Is it a particular group of people that give you, you don't got to name names. We don't get into all of that, but do you get any pushback? And if you do, what it is? But before you answer that, what is your resource?
Well, I mean, I just been studying, you know, like, all sorts of like healing, you know, type of modalities. I also have like my master's in human services, and so that was like one of the things.
She a master, y'all. I know another master. Her name is Nick. That's my co-host again. She a master, and my cousin Ebony. Shout out to Eb. She a master too, and she got hers in public health too as well. Okay. Yeah, in public health, y'all. Yeah.
Well, mine's in human services. I was really
you
going
said
for.
Human, my bad. I messed the whole joint up. So you got a master's in public health. You just said human services. My bad. Human services.
Indeed. From Lincoln University. But
my bad. I apologize for but HBCU in the building. I know my brother Dr. Wilson would love that. Yeah. But shout out to the HBCU. But go ahead. I promise I won't interrupt.
Yeah, but you know, I was just on the path of counseling, but I was just kept on studying, you know, just about like the different methods of counseling and things, and really getting into music theory, music therapy, artist therapy, creative arts therapy, and I just like tunnel all the way down that path instead of like clinical psychology. You know, just thinking about the other things and other ways, you know, that I could help, you know, as far as, you know, like I said, me being an artist and bringing, you know, what I could offer out. And like I said, so just reading a lot of information about music as therapy and just kind of going down that path, you know, like the scientific, you know, way, and then meditation and stuff and things that I've just studied over the years, and you know, and taking that all the way back into Egyptology and stuff, you know, with yoga and meditation and things. And but then adding in the singing bowl, I just happened to come across one day and just played it, and I felt what it did for me. And then I like walked in the room, you know, walked in my home, and my children were playing, and I just started playing the bowl, and everybody like settled down, and my daughter was like, "Mommy," she was like, "my energy was like this." She said, "But you played the bowl," and I just was like, and just the way that she explained it to me, I was like, "Yo, like." You know what I mean? Like just her emotional intelligence, you know what I'm saying? And the way that she just like broke it down, I was like, that's exactly what's happening. I was like, you know, the energy could be all over the place, but then you play in a bowl and it just brings everything in sync. And they just like calmed down and they was like, okay, sit down. Can I play it? You know, it's like they wanted to experience it somewhere too, but it was just something that you could just feel. It was just undeniable, you know? And so it just got me to looking more and more deeper and deeper into it.
It's dope because we talk about art. Like it for a minute it was kind of like entertainment, and then it was like it's art, because you know John Henry Clark talks about art as being, that's how you educate. Art is to educate. Yes, it can be enjoying, it can be celebratory. I'm not even gonna say entertainment. It can be, you know, warm, you know, relaxing, the whole nine. But at the end of the day, whatever the art is, we should use it to teach. And normally art is the best way to teach younger people. You know what I'm saying? So if it's the best way to teach younger people, it's the best thing, because our teaching is to teach young people how to be proper handlers of power. That's another thing that John Henry talks about. And the arts are what he talks about, how you teach them to be. You educate them through the arts, but you're teaching them how to be proper handlers of power. So what you saying that like that was your lane, like, all right, what do music do? Because music is very much programming. Music is very much like parroting, people just mimicking, you know what I'm saying? And it's very, very powerful, because the drum is amazingly powerful. That's why everything that we follow for the most part is on that one. You know what I'm saying? They used to talk about it in funk music, like on the one, you know what I mean? Because that's the drum. That one is the drum. That's what you're hearing as an African. And it draws you in. And then now we could just message anything we want to message to you. You know what I'm saying? So do you look at it in that way when because I do still want to know what is, if there's any pushback that you receive for what you're doing, but also do you look at the music? Is that one of the reasons why you were like, I'm an artist, so I'm gonna go down into this lane because this music is not being used correctly. These frequencies, these sounds are not being used correctly.
Yes, that was definitely part of it. And, like I said, we're having, children. My daughters are coming into their teenage years at the time. And I was thinking about a lot of things that they were listening to and always talking to them about that. Be careful what you're listening to. Be careful to the words that you're repeating, you know what I mean? And you're saying it over and over again. You're playing this on repeat. That's like chanting.
That's a chant, yeah.
And so I was always like, just talking to them about those types of information. And like I played the drums, I played the bass, and so I'm like just heavy into music.
Right.
I'm studying music theory, learning how to write it and everything. But yeah, and like I said, just, it was really during the time of like when I was studying, about counseling and everything, and landed into like music as therapy, and saw how they was like really using it for like hospice and helping people heal cancer and everything. That's what really just like kind of drove me, and
right.
Studying, vibrations and brain waves and all of that stuff. But as far as like pushback or anything, I haven't really noticed any, but I also, like I said, don't look for any. So,
right.
It's like, if it's out there, I mean, I'm gonna keep on speaking the science.
Right.
Giving the truth as I see it.
So that, I apologize for that loud noise. That is my phone. It is down, actually. So that's a good thing, but it's vibrating. That's one of our coaches, he's calling me. So I hope, it's not, I'm not gonna be there. It's like, it happens. I mean, I do it too at times. I'll be like, yo, I gotta, and they hold me down. So it's not nothing. But I'm hoping, because it's some things that I want to get across to our young folks, because we are actually a team now. You know what I'm saying? We still taking on young folks, but we do have a team now, and it's things that he knows because he's a coach as well. But he's full-time coach. Not just with us, but with a school. So it's certain things that I just want to support him on to make sure that our young folks get across. And I think he would be better at getting it across than me. You know what I'm saying? It'll be better if I just support him. But I'm glad you don't get pushback. You know what I'm saying? Because this is something that shouldn't get pushed back. But sometimes, a lot of times, when we have found different ways to remember, people, even our own people, because they don't remember, give us certain pushback. So I'm glad that you don't receive that pushback. The other thing I would like to know is, why do you do it? You gave a little bit of it talking about your children. I'm definitely getting away from saying kid. My mom doesn't like that. I've been saying kid a lot. Right. I'm trying to get to, children, child, stuff like that, because words are important, like you said. So why do you do? Give me a little bit more depth on why you do what you do.
It's important, I mean, I care about our community, I care about, the other young people that my children are engaging with, and it's like it's just a good thing. I see how healing it is. I see the benefit of it, and like just what we can really get out of it. I see how it can help to uplift our community. I see a lot of us that are just still going through a lot. A lot of it's just, we need a lot of help. I mean, I feel like that we came out of the enslavement situation, and just with no sort of like no therapy, no real therapy from that, like just none. And we're just still seeing the multi-generational effects of that to this day. That what you saying, that is kind of crazy, because it's a not crazy in a bad way, but it's crazy because I never really thought about what were people doing initially coming out of slavery to adjust. Like where were they? It was nothing. You know what I mean? And it's funny because I see the same thing with dudes coming from prison. Yeah. Like there is no, they tell you about a transition to being a citizen, but I'm talking about for you going through all of that trauma, extreme trauma. Like they're really, like we just went right into the next thing. And what did that do? Like having that trauma and having to transition into the next thing without even being able to address it. Now, I do think a part of it is like when you do, because there's something I can speak to. When you first come home, you just so excited to be home that's kind of like how you transition, because you hype, you excited, you happy, like you on high. And then life start lifing. And then you realize like, I need to make some level of transition because I haven't dealt with what I was dealing with, and these new things, not even that they're so bad, they're not necessarily bad things, but they're new things.
And I still got these old things that I haven't unpacked, I haven't dealt with. I'm not talking to nobody. People thinking they don't need to talk to me because it's like, yo, you happy, you home. You good. I know you good. You just came home. And it's like, yeah, I'm good. But it kind of took me back to when I was a young boy. And it was like, because I was good in school and stuff like that, people didn't really check. Like, they was like, he good. And then I'm big. So people thinking most times I'm older than what I am. And it was like, nobody really was checking. Like, yo, are you good? Is school really good? Like, do you have a plan? People just kind of rooted for me and thought I had it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's something I think we need to look at. Just that period. Like, what was happening to people based on coming out of that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
a lot of people come out with a lot of mental health issues.
Right.
And that's just, I don't know, it's some sort of stigma or something, when we talk about like mental health in the Black community. And, it's like folks just like not wanting to turn to that, or, like it's something wrong with it, but it's, it's not, it's a really big deal. And it's something that we should bring our focus and attention to, trying to, just help and deal with our mental health, the same way we deal with our physical health, and, the same way we deal with education. And, it's like, that focus on mental health is important. And so I would just see that, this is one way that I can, help and support. And, like I said, I found it to be really effective and, this beautiful thing. And so we just sharing it. Me and my daughter actually does sound baths.
How old is she?
She's 23.
Okay.
She
Like, so she always, I'm thinking little kids. What I'm saying? I'm thinking little children. I have to get this together. My mom didn't, when it comes to that, my mom really didn't raise me like that. Like, that was something that she would not let fly. From anybody. If you said kid in front of my mom, she's like, there. A kid is a baby goat.
Word.
These are children. Yo, somebody said, I thought she was 23. Shout out to my brother Kim. You know how this black thing do, bro. You know how it do. But that's I love to, as much as I challenge people about being spiritual right now and all the different things that come into it. I read a book a long time ago called African Holistic Health. And one of the most amazing parts of the book to me, and it's a lot of good stuff. Dr. Africa, definitely check that book out. He predates a lot of the people that y'all, Queen Afua, Sebi, like a lot of people who have written, they got a lot of their stuff from African Holistic Health. And I don't know the relationship between a lot of those folks and him, but I know how our people do in terms of, I read how Malcolm was basically kind of like a disciple of Dr. John Henry Clark. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, oh, these people really was having conversations and moving around each other. So I know for a fact a lot of these people, if not directly, got their information, their holistic health information from Dr. Africa. But the part that I wanted to put out there, I don't want to go too far into those connections and how we do with that. But he was talking about healing. And he said what our ancestors would do would be like, it would be incense in the room. It would be music. It would be sound therapy. It would be different colors being flashed at different times. You could tell what's going on with what is the dis-ease, not disease, but dis-ease in the body by how it shows up on your forehead. Might be talking about your kidney. Now, I could be wrong, but go look at the book. My John is not all the way there right now just to remember, but you could tell from your cheeks if it's your colon, or from your eyes. You could tell from different things. So it was like, that was kind of like putting hands on. You know what I mean? So you have people maybe singing, maybe playing a certain tune. It's smells, different incenses, different colors. You got different people in here. At certain times it may be laughter. At certain times it may be actual, hand therapy that you putting hands on people, and it's more than one. It could be 3 or 4 people with their hands on you. Giving the vibe, chanting. And it was like, this would go on in a room when we were healing somebody. That's another reason why the book is called African Holistic Health. And in Western medicine, not we, but they go to one thing and they compartmentalize, and they think side effects are regular. And that's, if you treat things holistically, they don't have side effects. That's a real thing. Like it's nowhere for the side effect to go, because you're dealing with all of these different things. So there is no side effect. So when you talk about sound healing and stuff like that, and I see people with crystals, because you would have crystals in the room, just the whole nine, every element is being able to heal your body. Why? Because the planet in your body has all of the same things, even the same percentages. So how do you heal folks? You go to where they come from, nature, and get the crystals, get the incense, get the colors, get those frequencies. So that's one of the things that I really love. And I do give my pushback on it at times just because I be wanting folks to understand, like you do hear folks that just be like, astrology, that's my thing. That's what I'm on. But what about numerology? You can't do one without the other. You can't do sound without crystals. You know what I'm saying? You can't do, So I just be wanting our folks to have that connection. It's definitely not pushback from me because I know that it works. And I love being around folks who are tapping in a real way like that. You know what I'm saying? So
it's just extra tools, like when I'm playing the singing bowls and, it's helping you to align. You can do that on your own, it's like even without these tools, what I mean, like in deep meditation, it's just sometimes it's really difficult for people to get there on their own, so they need some help with some of these tools. Sometimes we need some of these other things, and pulling certain energies and stuff like that into a room and things and stuff.
I think it's important too because I went to reclaim Black motherhood. I haven't said that too many times on the show lately, but I want to also definitely put that out there because for me, what I was introduced by going to two of her events was the true importance of a doula. And when they was talking about how doulas operate during pregnancy, it always give me that mindset of the visual that I seen when I was reading the book. And he was talking about healing somebody and having all these different people in the room, and then reading about how when a woman would have a child, when a woman is going through pregnancy, she was never alone. There was always other women around her. Every step of the way, there was no alone time. Like, the idea of a doula is just a natural thing that we was already doing, and we kind of give it a name as time go on. But before, that was just auntie. Right. That was the cousin. That was grandmom. You know what I mean? It didn't have a name necessarily. You know what I'm saying? But that was something we naturally did because something that these sisters explained, and I was like, this is the stuff that we really need to open up to all women. They was like, when I found out that a woman risks her life every time she gets pregnant, having a child is something that a woman literally risks her life every time she has a child. And then these sisters was telling me, they was like, we supposed to be there to help her go get the baby. And I was like, go get the baby. Now I understand, but I want them to explain it some more. And they was like, no, your baby is coming from another realm. And you need your sisters around you to help you go get, we all catching the baby. You know what I mean? And I'm like, this is the stuff we need to be talking about with women all day long because my daughter mom went through her pregnancy by herself. Because I'm running around doing what I'm doing, working, not just doing any and everything. And it just wasn't enough people around her during this time. You know what I mean? So it didn't go off right for us because she needed other women. And I was like, damn, how did I not think of that? You know what I mean? Like, that's one of the things that I deal with within myself. Like, I know these things. Why didn't I look for a doula? You feel what I'm saying? And it's like, damn, like, we need to promote these ideas more and more. But I brought that thing up about the doula because there's nothing we really supposed to be doing by ourselves. So when you said, yeah, you could do this by yourself, but if you got two sisters with you, if you got another sister with you, you got a brother with you, bigger. it's a different come off. When we all, it's kind of like that thing on Avatar whenever they trying to, like, when they brought somebody back to life or they trying to heal something, they all get together, hold hands, and sway. And I promise y'all, that's a real thing. That wasn't a cartoon that they was explaining. Like, that's a real thing. That's things that we actually did. We really were around our people swaying with our hands held, holding each other up. You know what I mean? So when you said that about it and you was like, no, sometimes you need other people, it just made me think of that. And the other thing I think of, and what do you think of this? Like, I know that, we're social by nature. Mm-hmm. And if you leave people by themselves, they'll lose their mind. You know what I'm saying? So when you talk about mental illness, like, what do you think the group should be doing? Like, what should we be doing? Like, how should we be aiding people? Like, you know what I'm saying? As somebody that you do the things that you do to help other people, like, what should we be doing group wise?
I think that, that each one teach one is a huge deal. Mm-hmm. But as we're developing, I think that collective consciousness, in supporting each other, one another, can take us very far.
Right. This is like, are we going to get some sound therapy? Are we going to be able to pull that off? You know what I mean? Because I was trying to hold some space for the brother, but he might not make it. He did tell me he was stuck in traffic, and then sometimes he at the door. Oh, okay. Because I was about to say, the ancestors do things a certain way so it can come. Because he's been on the show a couple times, and we needed this today. I needed some sound therapy today, so I'm gonna let you do your ones and twos.
Okay. Just give y'all a little demonstration here. I hope it comes through properly. Say that again.
I've been trying to prepare this space for Saturday. Can you please come prepared? Yeah. I've been trying to figure out how to get this thing done. I need to come prepared like tomorrow.
There they go. There go them ancestors again, y'all.
I was out there like trying to figure
yes,
out.
yes, bro. I appreciate you. Like it did come across. I needed that. It's something like I do a lot of breathing now, and my sister right here, she seen me like initially when I first started and she was like, "Are you okay? Cause you just took this deep breath." I was like, "No, I'm trying to get no matter what the conversation, what we doing, I'm trying to like be mindful to breathe." But normally when you see somebody like you thinking like, "What's going on? You okay?" And I'm like, the first couple times I think I did it around and she like, "You all right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm cool. I just been trying to do more deep breathing, like in different spaces." And it's like that's the other thing about the connection. I feel like when the sound is moving, the more deep breathing you do, that connection helps. And then like I said about all of the other things, but that breathing part is a major part of this. So when you do it, do you tell people, do you do breathing exercise before? Do you tell them to do something during?
We actually, when we get started, and we start. Yes, we always tell them, to take some deep breaths and everything, and to just kind of be really aware of yourself, what I mean. And we go through some affirmations. We actually play 7 bowls.
Okay.
So we have 7 bowls. We have chimes. We have a few instruments and things.
What's the significance of 7 bowls?
Just like the 7 major scale.
Got you.
Exactly. It corresponds, like our energy centers correspond with those 7 major scales.
Got you.
And so as we play those, as we go through each one, we give some affirmations and everything, along with them. And just kind of help you to kind of center yourself, to kind of bring your attention to each, each aspect of yourself as we go through.
So you have some things written down. Was it anything that was those things that you wanted to get to? You didn't want to forget, because I seen the paper. So I want you to be able to get the opportunity to let people know the notes that you have taken down. I love that too, because she was taking this serious. Like, I'm not playing with this. And this brother right here that's acting like he a videographer, we need him to come on and tell us what's going on in the event. Pipe that John up so we can send it to 1,000 people. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to try. I'm trying to get it out to 1,000 people.
It's about the community. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
Indeed,
so that's why I'm glad that God is.
Yeah, man. And I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you for that, bro.
Yeah. You already know I appreciate you. The assist.
No doubt, bro.
Yes, also.
Right.
So jump right in, man. Tell us what's going on. Give us the day, give us the time. You know what I mean?
What can I tell you? Wednesday, June 19th, from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. 4014 Walnut Street, Philadelphia, PA. That's the Rotunda. This is the third annual Juneteenth celebration with Dr. Leonard Jeffries. Last year, Dr. Leonard Jeffries brought his wife, you know what I'm saying? And if y'all can go to YouTube, if you know about Dr. Jeffries, he can go.
Come up.
He's up in age. He's in his 80s, but he can go. But his wife came last year, and it was just like a real spiritual grand moment. So to have our elders with us, them being the custodians and the keepers of the culture, to have them with us here and just to see how they move and they operate, it was just like a grand moment. And it's just like when you look at the flyer, you see the elders and then you see me. It represents who we are as a community.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm having this Juneteenth celebration. The intentions are set to have an all age event where we come together as a collective, and the theme is emphasized and the holiday is celebrated. You know what I'm saying? So the theme is freedom. So what does freedom actually look like? A lot of times when people, talk about Juneteenth, they talk about Juneteenth from the perspective of like our ancestors finding out that they were no longer in bondage. Let's bring it up to date in 2024. What does freedom look like for us? So we got everything from financial literacy. We got the goddess with the divine feminine, making sure that you're not bound on this level to where as though your chakras is not, restricted. We got to get free. So what does freedom look like? It's like freedom at all levels. So when you come to this event, you're going to experience freedom, and you're going to see what it looks like. We got some stuff for the young people. We got a husband and wife group they're doing a presentation on STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math, because the technology, that's the wave of the future. So this is an event, is an authentic space. Like I said, and it's really important. This is a very important event just because we have the Jeffries. They were around when we had like Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, and these are the people who walked and they were doing that work, and they're still doing it today. Like Mama Jeffrey, she's still teaching at the university up in New York now. You know what I'm saying? So these are real freedom fighters. Like we got this thing in our community and our culture where we venerate our ancestors, and that's great. But at the same time, we got to give our people the flowers while they're here and get the wisdom from them while we can. You know?
The only thing, it's not a pushback, but I don't, and I'm not telling people they can't use the flowers, like use it, but I just be like love, you know what I mean? I'm gonna give them their love, because I just think flowers comes with a negative thing, like, they gonna the person passing, or you gonna wait till I don't even want to associate death with this life moment when I'm giving you that love. I'm not saying you wrong for saying flowers and somebody should correct you every time. I'm just saying that's something I've been thinking on. Like, I don't even want to associate when I get to show that love to my elders, that it's like this is a death moment. Like, no, and I understand death at a different level too. I don't even look at death as this everything is over and all that. That's not a thing for me, but I want to, like, we in the moment. We in this moment. And my elder is here right now in this moment, or whoever it is, not an elder. I just want to give them the love for whatever they're doing that's pushing our community forward, or showing love to themselves. Indeed. Real love to themselves. And somebody just gave you a shout out. You know what I mean? They said they're going to see you. I'm trying to make sure I keep looking up there and try to make sure we make those connections. Yeah. And shout out to Akimba again. And I'm saying this because we all met at the same time, if I'm not mistaken. We did the joint on Broad Street with what's the sister? Oh, if she watches,
she has you talking about Andrea?
Andrea, yes. Yeah. And that's when we all met. We did the joint.
That's where I met you.
Yeah. Well, you might have met Akimba already, but I'm saying I met both of y'all at that same time. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then that's how everything came out with the show and all that later. But that was a connection. I was like, damn, you walking around. I was like, damn, I actually met both of these brothers at the same time. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Doing the work, on Broad Street. Okay, maybe like, 2 years ago, 3 years ago? Probably was longer than that. Man. Maybe 3.
I think we were still wearing the mask. It was like the pandemic type thing, like just coming off, like they still was wearing the mask. But,
right. But and my thing to that is like, brother, like Akimba, the opportunity that I got in New York, that brother, he put me on that. You know what I mean? So I'm going to always show that love to him, that, he giving me an opportunity to spread out. You know what I mean? And I think we all do that for each other in a bunch of different ways. Like you giving me the opportunity to open, because that's how I looked at it, to open for Dr. Umar. You know what I'm saying? Like opportunities like that, I appreciate real. And that's another thing when I say the love, like I ain't gonna give you flowers. I'm gonna give you some love for that. Like, bro, I appreciate it. And that's the things that I keep trying to do. And I see we trying to do that more. Like, listen, man, stop with all the silo stuff.
Well, me and you got this thing. remember Ma'at.
Yes.
So all right, so let me see if I can get it right this time. So one of the 7 virtues of Ma'at is reciprocity.
Yes, indeed.
So that's what that is. You
No,
know
no
what I'm
doubt. No
saying? We just showing that
doubt.
I ain't gonna say it because he got me last time. So I'm like, you know what I mean?
Nah,
We ain't
bro,
gonna
you
go
know it wasn't no shot. But you know, I appreciate that it wasn't taken like that, because I've been in spaces where, you know, we be so on our ego and it turned into a pissing contest and it didn't really be that, and everybody want to talk about how much they know, and it wasn't that. It was just like, we got a lot of folks in the room that we want to make sure that they gonna get this, because we want to bring them into that. And I know my brother move on that all the time. I see it in the way that he does his art. When you look at his Instagram, when you see him in the street, he's myotic. You know what I'm saying? So
sure.
it wasn't no shot at the brother. And I so appreciate that
that
you ain't take it like,
no, because you know what?
You know what I mean?
You know, as men, we gotta have accountability. So we have a problem as men with holding each other accountable. And a lot of times it's because, you know, we don't see that example in the home. Mm-hmm. So I grew up with, you know, 4 older brothers. So, you know, it was like I was raised in a fraternity, so to say. Yeah. Everything like that they did, I couldn't do. Mm-hmm. Meaning like the mistakes that they made. Right. Because I had 4 other examples ahead of me, it was like, yo, what are you doing? Like, I'm doing the same thing that you was doing when you was my age. Right. Like, nah, but we did that. I'm like, exactly. All right, well, I mean, you know, I'm doing it now. And it's like, nah, that's not what we doing. That's not what we doing out here. You feel me? But that's not what we doing out here. That I gotta give, you know, that respect to my siblings, mm-hmm. you know, in different men of the community that inspired me to do the work that I'm doing right now. So let me name them. There's a brother by the name of Asare Kam Hotep, mm-hmm. also known as Grand Sheikh Aziz. He was one of the elders. Rest in peace to Baba Rob from the Universal African Drum and Dance Ensemble. You know, he was a mentor of mine who took me under his wing and, you know, gave me that accountability. Mm-hmm. And you know what I'm saying? I still have Baba Jeffries and his wife. You know, these people, you know, they show love. You know, one thing I learned from Brother Rob from Universal, he says it's about love and discipline, as mm-hmm. he taught. In addition to the dance, you know, they had the karate school, mm-hmm. Universal Pasha. So he's like, you know, Big Dre, you know, it's about love and discipline, and that discipline is very important for us as a people, because we want to do things that make us feel good. Everything is about, you know, celebrating. Mm-hmm. But what about freedom? Mm-hmm. That's why this event is so important, because it's like, yo, we can celebrate. We can go out to wherever in the streets, and I'm not throwing no shade to none of the other Juneteenth celebrations, but the reality of it is, you know, when is 4th of July celebrated? It's celebrated on 4th of July. Mm-hmm. Now, to some of our people, you know, Juneteenth is a fairly new holiday. Mm-hmm. Some people are just getting assimilated. Some businesses are still not giving people PTO for Juneteenth. So when we do, like I say, like last year when Mama Jeffries came, it was spiritual. When we celebrate Juneteenth on the actual day, mm-hmm. it's almost like we're venerating our ancestors, because our ancestors in that particular region in Galveston, Texas, they took to the streets once they found out that they were free. Mm-hmm. So that's why we're having an authentic space. We're doing it on the day. I could have, from a organizer, say, hey, yo, I'm gonna do it on Friday because people gonna be available, or I'm gonna do it on Saturday, or I'm gonna do it this day. Like, nah, we're gonna do it in the spirit and tradition of our ancestors. Right. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so that's what it's really all about, man. It's
so we short on time. I can't take no extra time, but I want you one more time. Tell them who you are. Yeah. Tell them where they can find you. Tell them again what's going on Juneteenth Wednesday. Yeah. Like when's the actual Juneteenth 19th Wednesday, not the 15th, the weekend, or the next weekend. That's very important. The Juneteenth weekend. Again, like you said, I'm gonna be around and be doing these different things with folks. Yeah. But the authenticity of June 19th, no matter what day of the week it falls on, we need to be there showing that love and venerate our ancestors. So absolutely. One more time, tell them who you are. Yeah. Give them some where they can find you and what's going on again.
I'm a humble servant of the Most High. I'm a community member. My name is Bigger Dre. Also, have the name that was given to me is Amunsen Hotep Ray, and I will be one of the community members for our Juneteenth celebration. It's an all age event, and it's happening in West Philadelphia in University City on 40th and Walnut, right next to the Cinemark movie theater, from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. That's 4014 Walnut Street. Make sure you bring, and like they the elders, so that you can bring your grandma, you can bring the babies. We want the whole family. We doing this for the culture, and we got everything from like we got Sister Rhonda Rise, our sister here. She's doing the healing. We got people that's dealing with financial literacy. We got people dealing with real estate, like all the stuff that connects to freedom is going to be there. We even got a panel with Brother Shamari. You might want to talk to the brother Professor Cartoon Jones, where we talking about this drill music, because a lot of the young brothers is caught up into the drill music. They're going to be doing a panel on the drill music and the influence and the adverse effects of, not just drill music, but this degenerative music that they're putting out to program our young
chants.
People.
I mean, so I don't mean to cut you off, brother. I can't take time like I used to take time.
Yeah, for sure.
Nah, I'm just messing around. But listen, man, intergenerational conversation. Intergenerational conversation. We are. It just was by happenstance that that's what he's having, but that's something we've been pushing a lot, and we're going to continue to push it. We need to get that connection between our young people and our elders and everything between back. So this is PSA, Philly Service Announcement, Takeover Tuesday, Takeover Love, Support, Grace, Social Activism, Resources, and Art, y'all. We got art on the show. That's what we doing out here. I love black people.